Now to this big story. We're continuing to follow the chaotic scenes in Baghdad, where dozens of protesters stormed the U.S. embassy there following the funerals for 25 Iran-backed militia fighters who were killed in U.S. military airstrikes on Sunday. Let's bring in Joel Rubin, former State Department official. Joel, thanks for joining us. We see these pictures. Violence, anger. Where does this go, do you think? I mean, obviously, we talked earlier about Iran being behind this. Do you think it could escalate?
So there are a couple of things to think about right now in this very tense situation. And at the bottom line, it looks like the competition for Iraq really is underway right now between the United States and Iran. And there are a lot of potential downside risks to that. And we're witnessing it right now with the attack on the embassy, the assault on the embassy by the Iranian-backed militias. And concurrent to this, and this is very important, there have been massive street protests by the Iraqi people for months now, where they have been demanding that Iran not meddle in their politics. And that is distinct from what we just saw at the embassy. So we're engaged in a military back and forth with Iranian-backed militias. The Iraqi people are demanding a better politics. So we have to be very sensitive in how we engage. And that's going to take a lot of calm nerves right now.
It is. And I mentioned this earlier, that the U.S. was seen as an invader a number of years ago, but is now seen as someone who's been invited in to help wipe out ISIS. But Iran's influence has grown and grown. What should be our response? You say we have to be delicate with this, but we're watching an embassy under siege. What should we do?
So in the near term, what we need to make sure we're doing is, with the Iraqi government, making it clear that they get control of the physical situation. And it looks like they're leaning that way, but they did not initially. And so the concern from the United States perspective is how firm is the Iraqi government in protecting our embassy facilities. So that needs to be made clear. The Iraqi government needs to be very, very firm in protecting U.S. and international diplomatic facilities. But second to that, there need to be some clear rules of the road for Iran and the United States and how we engage each other. Now, on the American side, there was a debate in Congress, in fact, a bipartisan debate, opposing military escalation and a conflict with Iran. Matt Gaetz and Ro Khanna authored an amendment on a defense bill in the House that got through the House, not in the Senate language, but nonetheless, there is a strong concern in Congress that there is no authorization for American war with Iran. Fine, so we take that as a baseline. The same goes for Iran. They have been pushing their agenda politically in Baghdad, but that doesn't mean that they have the support of the Iraqi people, and that's why we see the protests of the Iraqi people. And we need to make sure we're listening to the Iraqi people right now.
Joel, stay right there. I wanted to kind of turn our attention to Hong Kong. It's about to ring in the new year there, but a big night of protests also planned. Susan, what do we expect?
So we have protesters flocking to several sites across the city, and so far we've seen that there have been giant human chains that have been formed. Also, we have protesters donning their black masks once again and flocking to shopping malls and other popular destinations across the city of Hong Kong. As you see, they are out en masse. And New Year's Eve is a big night in the city. You usually have a fireworks display that's been canceled by the government in anticipation of more Hong Kong protests. And I would say that they've kind of died down since the local elections a few weeks ago. But now back and forth, since we know that most of these protesters are student-led and students are out for the break over the holidays.
Joel, let me bring you back in on this. I mean, are these protests likely to carry on into the new year? But where are we going with this? Because Beijing is not going to budge on the key issues that these protesters want changed.
It's a very analogous situation to the street, like in Iraq, where the street is making it clear that they don't want to be governed by an external force. And so the Hong Kong protesters, there was a strong sign by us in the Congress by supporting and the president signing legislation supporting their protests, and the Chinese didn't like it, but that's just how it has to work. And so as the president engages in trade negotiations forward, he also needs to stand firm on these human rights issues. Standing with the populations in a democratic society is very critical to ensuring a long-term security and a long-term strong relationship with China and with Hong Kong.
We'll continue to follow what's going on there as well. Joel, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate your insight today.